This is the story of Shoko Tendo, the daughter of a Yakuza gangster boss who wrote a memoir about her experiences, said her father allowed her to be repeatedly raped by associates he was indebted to, leaving her bloody and bruised in downmarket hotel rooms. Born into the family of a wealthy Yakuza boss, Shoko Tendo lived her early years in luxury. But labeled the Yakuza kid, she was the victim both of bullying and discrimination from teachers and classmates at school, and of her father's drunken rages at home. Then, the family fell into debt, and Tendo fell in with the wrong crowd. By the age of 15 she was a gang member, by the age of 18, a drug addict, and in her 20s, a willing participant in a series of abusive and violent relationships with men. The Yakuza are believed to run the Japanese trade, where they lure in women from around the world with promises of visas, only to take their passport and drive them into debt so they are forced to work in brothels. It's thought they are capitalizing on Asia's growing status as a destination for tourism. Shoko Tendo still has the scars from being brutally raped and beaten by her father's gangmates in a shabby hotel room as a teenager. Her dad Hiroyasu Tendo was a member of the world's deadliest gang, Japan's Yakuza, and forced her into slavery for 5 years before she escaped. The Yakuza, a notorious criminal organization, has long captivated the imaginations of many outsiders. Its origins trace back centuries, but it truly gained prominence after World War II. By 1963, the Yakuza boasted over 180,000 members and tightened its grip on Japan. Engaging in bribery and corruption, they indulged in various criminal activities, including extortion, blackmail, and illicit drug trade. However, amidst the intrigue surrounding the Yakuza, one aspect remains largely unexplored: the lives of the organization's women. And there's a good reason why this topic remains in the shadows, as we shall discover in the shocking details that unfold. She described, "Every time I met a new man I thought he would be different. When they cried and said sorry, I forgave them. I never learned." Shoko Tendo's story is one of heartbreak and tragedy, shocking many when she decided to reveal the sickening treatment she endured through a raw and unfiltered book. Born in 1968, Shoko grew up in Sakai, Osaka, as one of 3 siblings to her parents, Hiroyasu and Satomi. Her family lived a comfortable life, with her Yakuza father managing legitimate businesses alongside his darker profession. However, being associated with the Yakuza came at a cost. The gang tattoos adorning their bodies served as a permanent mark, revealing their criminal past and inviting discrimination. Former Yakuza members faced societal prejudice once their history was revealed. Shoko experienced this discrimination early on when, as a young girl, she witnessed her father and uncle engage in a bitter dispute over her grandmother's will. Her uncle's words, calling her father Yakuza scum, echoed in her ears, while neighbors gossiped and treated her like an outcast. These experiences marked the beginning of a life shadowed by the dangers of her father's criminal world. Shoko's father's imprisonment further isolated her, as Japanese law prevented children between the ages of 4 and 14 from visiting prisons. She endured years without seeing her father, while her mother, loving and supportive though she was, likely remained unaware of the extent of the bullying and torment Shoko faced as the daughter of a gangster. One incident in particular foreshadowed the violence that lay ahead. During an encounter with another girl, a group of boys attempted to violate Shoko, but with the help of a friend, she fought them off, narrowly escaping harm. The association with the Yakuza had already taken its toll on her life, but she would soon discover the true horror of being a gangster's daughter. The bullying and exclusion Shoko endured eventually pushed her to a breaking point. Under the influence of paint thinner, she assaulted someone and was subsequently sent to a refractory school for 8 months. However, her struggles were far from over. Upon returning home, she found her father buried in mounting debts. In a reprehensible act, he allowed those he owed money to violate his own daughter as a form of payment. Shoko's life spiraled into a harrowing existence as she delved deeper into drug abuse and endured brutal beatings at the hands of various Yakuza men. By the age of 20, she had been involved with multiple Yakuza men, most of whom continued to subject her to unimaginable horrors. She recounted the cycle of abuse, naively believing that each new man she met would be different, forgiving them when they expressed remorse. Shoko's breaking point came after enduring yet another savage beating in a seedy hotel. Realizing that she didn't want to die in such a place, she mustered the strength to drag herself home. It was at that moment she knew it was time to break free, although her toughest trials were yet to come. Before marrying a gangster, Shoko suffered severe beatings from an ex-boyfriend. Her marriage was short-lived, marred by further violence, including her husband's self-inflicted act of atonement, cutting off one of his fingers, a grisly Yakuza ritual. Seeking a fresh start, Shoko moved to Tokyo when she found herself penniless and with nowhere else to go. She took up work at a pachinko parlor, striving to build a better life for herself. However, the tragic loss of her mother plunged her into a deep abyss of grief, rendering her unable to carry on. Consumed by despair, she swallowed a handful of sleeping pills in a desperate suicide attempt. Miraculously, she survived. Several years later, Shoko faced another devastating loss. Her father succumbed to stomach cancer. Strangely, instead of reacting as she did with her mother's passing, she viewed her father's death as an opportunity for real change. Divorced and determined, she returned to work in the red light district, driven to leave behind her life as a hostess forever. With unwavering dedication, she opened a savings account within a year and labored relentlessly, ultimately saving enough to secure her freedom from the world of hostessing. Inspired by her newfound strength and resolve, Shoko decided it was time to share her life as a Yakuza daughter with the world. Her book, Yakuza Moon, unveiled the heart-wrenching details of her experiences. The narrative exposes the physical and emotional toll she endured, including broken bones, damaged eardrums, missing hair, and the enduring consequences of drug abuse. The brutality she suffered at the hands of violent Yakuza men is starkly depicted. Remarkably, even in the face of such pain, Shoko speaks fondly of her father, despite his knowledge and involvement in her suffering. She vividly recounts moments when her father unleashed his fury on other members, including the time she witnessed him angrily confronting a member who had severed his own finger as a form of self-punishment. Although Shoko continues to visit her father's grave and maintains a complex relationship with him, his words of encouragement in a letter he sent before his passing resonated deeply within her. In his message, he urged her to believe in herself, and she did just that. Yakuza Moon became an international sensation, translated into several languages and captivating readers worldwide. Some Yakuza members even approved of Shoko's portrayal of their world, acknowledging its accuracy. Writing about her life may have played a role in helping Shoko heal the deep mental wounds she had endured. However, there is one aspect of the Yakuza that will forever remain with her: their tattoos. Unlike many former members who seek to hide their tattoos in Japanese society due to discrimination, Shoko embraces her body art as an empowering part of her life. While famous Japanese artists and musicians freely display their tattoos, the Yakuza must conceal theirs, living concealed lives. Shoko's tattoos, which feature dragons, flowers, phoenixes, and koi fish, not only cover the scars of her youth, but also serve as a testament to her resilience and strength. Although she feels the need to cover them in Japanese society, she finds empowerment in her tattoos, continuously adding to her collection even after leaving the organization.